Hello everybody, welcome back to another modelled writing video. So in today's video we are going to look at two task 2 questions for the IELTS writing part of the IELTS exam. So these are the longer essay style questions you'll be given, and today we've got two different topics and two different questions to look at, and I'll be showing you how I would approach them and how you can approach them. And as we go along, we'll be talking about any top tips on how to score in the higher band scores. So hopefully today will be useful, especially if you have, say, booked your IELTS exam. Maybe you just want a bit more information on task 2. Any tips on how to get higher band scores, then you've come to the right place, because we'll be talking about all of those things today. Okay, well, let's get started then. And we're looking at the first topic of the day, which is going to be education or healthcare. The question: some people argue that we should spend more money on education, while others believe that we should spend more money on healthcare. Discuss both views and give your opinion. Okay, the first thing that I can see is the type of question, so we need to discuss both of these statements and give our opinion. So if you've seen these types of questions before here in these videos, and you'll know how I like to approach them, you can do a 5-paragraph structure where the fourth main body is your opinion. For example, you do your introduction, then one side, then the other side, then your opinion, then your conclusion. These are the paragraphs. However, I like to weave mine into the main body. So I like to do an introduction, the other side that we're not agreeing with, the side that we are agreeing with. So we put our opinion in this one, and then we tie it all up in a conclusion. So that's what I'll do today. Okay, well, let's have a think about this a bit more in the plan. Now, a plan is so important to stay on track, stay focused, make sure everything's relevant, and we're answering the question. All important parts of the IELTS writing. Okay, so let's have a think. Some people argue that we should spend more money on education, while others believe that we should spend more money on healthcare. Well, this is a bit vague, so we want to be careful about this we. Is that individuals? Is that the government? We're not too sure. So we could address both in our answer, just to cover all bases, and show that we're aware of who this we could be. Okay, so I think I'm going to argue and weave my opinion for the sake of this essay. A good point to mention here, your opinion in the essay doesn't have to match your real life opinion. I would say go for which is easier for you to argue, and no one's ever going to know. So don't worry whether it's your opinion or not. Just go with the most examples you can think of, the easiest one for you to argue. So for me today, I think that's going to be healthcare. And then I'm going to talk about education. Okay, ideas for the argument that we should spend more money on education. Well, the more money invested, then of course the better quality. Now again, education is quite vague. Is this when you're young, primary education, secondary, further education? I think we can just mention all bases again here, so that we've covered the breadth of this topic. Just briefly, we don't have to. We just want to show the examiner that we're thinking about all different types of education, and whether the money's coming from a government source or, say, the individual. So the better quality, the more money pumped into education, then the better quality teachers and lecturers, they're being paid more. especially with lecturers, because they are very well, they do their own research, and there's the more money you can offer a lecturer, then perhaps the more esteemed they are in the academic field, the more specific research they have. So we can talk about that. Um, and maybe we can link in also that the equipment and the time there will be enhanced. So we could say the more money, the more comfortable and modern the institution itself. So we can use examples like the latest technology could be in schools, or the the dormitories at university could be upgraded, and so students have a more comfortable time there. Things like this. Okay, so that is one argument. Now let's go into the healthcare opinion. Now, we can sort of tie in that whilst more money would be beneficial for education, there is a worry that this can lead to a transactional type of situation with education. So, for example, there's a trend of students arguing for or challenging the lecturers because well, in the UK, for example, we pay so much money. 9,000 a year now, maybe it's gone up even more, that students are demanding better grades. So it's more of a transactional situation rather than a sort of holistic educational environment, if that makes sense. So that is the worry with education. And I'm going to say that's why we need to focus on healthcare, because healthcare affects people of all ages. It can be life-threatening, some diseases. So healthcare is imperative because it's, it's dealing with people's well-being, and sometimes this can be, really serious. So some countries are practicing free healthcare, like the UK. But even in that situation, more money, we could argue, from the government could be invested to improve quality. And there are so many developments in healthcare that the money could go towards. I know that nowadays there's new science that is going into this idea of personalized chemotherapy. So this would improve people's quality of life dramatically, because the medicine would just focus on the cancer cells, for example, and not the person's entire immune system. So that would make a dramatic difference to people's quality of life. So that's the main difference between education and healthcare. I'm going to argue that this idea of quality of life. Education, of course, is still very important, but that's the difference for this essay. Okay, so education is vital. However, let's tie this in with the conclusion. We'll obviously, in the essay, we'll draw upon what we've been writing about. However, healthcare is imperative for is imperative, and funding is needed, is more important. Okay. We'll leave it at that, and then of course we'll have these notes to come back to and refer back to. Okay, so we've really thought about this this statement here. So now I think we can go to the write-up, and we're going to start by paraphrasing this statement. Some people argue that we should spend more money on education, while others believe that we should spend more money on healthcare. Okay, let's start by, on one hand, various sectors of society, various members of society believe that, or hold the opinion that there should be more money prioritized in the educational sector, whilst different groups state that the institutions connected to health should receive more spelling is really important. To go back, edit, check spelling. Institutions connected to health should receive more finances. In this essay, now we're going into what we're going to do. I will present both sides of the debate and agree with the latter statement. This one about the healthcare. Okay, let's read this back, see how it's sounding. On one hand, various members of society hold the opinion that there should be money prioritised in the educational sector, whilst different groups state that the institutions connected to health should receive more finances. In this essay, I will present both sides of the debate and agree with the latter statement. Okay, so let's go into education first. Education is a pillar of society, of the community, and therefore there is no denying that funding and spending should be focused on it. Okay, so we are still presenting, even though we're not agreeing with it, we're still presenting it. Education is a pillar of the community, and therefore there is no denying that funding and spending should be focused on it. Okay, why? We could say up until the age of 18, in most countries, going to school is mandatory. School provides, now why is it so important? School provides opportunities for children, and opportunities for children or school higher levels of education raise the nation as a whole. Therefore, if the government, for example, invested money in teacher training, maybe teacher training and resources, all individuals would benefit from this ideal start in life, maybe. So it starts everyone up, everyone has to go. Most countries, it's up until 18. So on a personal level, families should, we could say, even if learning is free, there should be opportunities to contribute financially to support your own child's growth and others. Okay, we can even talk about further education as well. So additionally, a nice linking phrase there. Oh, let's talk about the main reason actually. The main reason being up until the age of 18, in most countries, going to school is mandatory. Okay, we'll think about this later. We'll read it back at the end. So let's add our point about higher education. Additionally, higher education is, although higher education comes at a cost, if there was further fiscal support, this could mean more specialized lecturers and maybe high-tech equipment for students, leading to a significantly improved experience. Okay, let's read it back now and see how it's sounding. Education is a pillar of the community, and therefore there is no denying that funding and spending should be focused on it. The main reason being, up until the age of 18, in most countries, going to school is mandatory. Higher levels of education raise the nation as a whole. Therefore, if the government, for example, invested money in teacher training and resources, all individuals would benefit from this ideal start in life. On a personal level, even if learning is free, there should be opportunities to contribute financially to support your own child's growth and others. You know, now that I'm reading it back, I don't think this bit is essential, so I think that goes off topic a little bit. I think that's good, and I now want to focus on my opinion in the next paragraph, all about healthcare. Okay, so let's get started on this one. While schooling is undeniably important, it does not come with the same life or death scenarios. Scenarios that, no hyphen there, that the healthcare system does. And it is for this reason I will argue that more funds should be allocated to this area. Okay, nice topic sentence there. Let's go into detail as to why this is such an important situation. While some countries have free healthcare, such as the NHS in the UK, many nations do not. Therefore, it is of the utmost priority. Oh, that's a T there. Utmost priority to invest both from a governmental point of view and also perhaps save some money aside as individuals. Everyone will experience a health problem throughout their lives. And we can talk about how I think 1 in 2 of us will get cancer now, which is a shocking statistic. A shocking statistic. Oh, shocking statistic from cancer research suggests 1 in 2 of us. Oh, 1 in 2. It used to be 1 in 3. 2 of us will develop cancer at some stage. Okay, let's yes, tie this together. This grave situation affects millions, or maybe billions of people now, billions of people around the world. And for this reason, and this is why and this is why this grave situation affects billions of people around the world, and this is why more research and development needs to be supported financially. Let's read it back, see how it sounds. While schooling is undeniably important, it does not come with the same life or death scenarios that the healthcare system maybe tackles. Maybe I'll do a nice full stop there. It is for this reason I will argue that more funds should be allocated to this area. While some countries have free healthcare, such as the NHS in the UK, many nations do not. Therefore, it is of the utmost priority to invest both from a governmental point of view and also perhaps save some aside as individuals. Save some cash or capital aside as individuals. Everyone will experience a health problem throughout their lives. A shocking statistic from cancer research suggests 1 in 2 of us will develop cancer at some stage. This grave situation affects billions of people around the world. I can just make that a bit more concise worldwide. And this is why more research and development needs to be supported financially. Okay, I think that's good. We've just gone back and tweaked that a little bit. So let's tie it all up in a conclusion. So in conclusion, while educational facilities of course are integral to the whole, to every country. Healthcare not only affects maybe more people, but also it supports individuals throughout their lives through serious situations. More money would truly assist in saving lives. We could say it is clear that more money would truly assist in saving lives. Okay, let's read it back. In conclusion, while educational facilities of course are integral to every country, healthcare not only affects more people, but also it supports individuals throughout their lives through serious situations. It is clear that more money would truly assist in saving lives. Okay, I think that's good. Let's count the words here. All right, so that has come to a grand total of 315 words, which I think is a good amount there. And you can see how we've interweaved our opinion into the second main body of the two here. So we've got a nice flow and we've double checked. We've got all the things that the examiner is looking for, a variety of sentence structures, specific vocabulary. I think we've got a few phrasal verbs in there, which is good, unusual sayings. All these things will help towards a higher band score. So with that being said then, let's go to our next essay. And this is going to be all about living longer. In some countries, people are living longer than ever before. What are the reasons for this trend? What are the effects of an aging population on individuals and society as a whole? Okay, so we've got the same structure of question as the last one. We've got 2 questions. What are the reasons for this trend? So we'll tackle that in the first main body. Sorry, it's not the same structure as before. I'm just saying it's a different type of question. Last one was the discuss both sides and state opinion. This one is 2 different questions. So we've got this first question here. What are the reasons for this trend? And then we've got what are the effects on an aging population and society as a whole? So I think I'll tackle both questions in a different paragraph. So let's have a think about the plan. In some countries, people are living longer than ever before. What are the reasons for this trend? What are the effects of an aging population on society and, on individuals and society as a whole? Right, so I'm going to think about the reasons in paragraph 1, and then I'm going to think about the effects, both on an individual and in a society. Those are my shorthand for those. Okay, reasons that people are living longer. Well, our healthcare system has improved. This is almost linking the last topic a little bit. Healthcare system has improved. Vaccinations have eradicated diseases like polio and really serious tuberculosis, things like this, which in the past killed many people, millions of people. I would say most people nowadays have less physical jobs, less intense jobs. Definitely, I know that 100 years ago, children were working 12 hours, all day, and it was a difficult life. Really, people would be out on the farms all day, perhaps in the mines. It was very, very physical, and of course, what comes with a physical job is more accidents and more things like this. So, as well as the general stress of it. And I think diet has improved as well. I think overall we can argue that. Okay, so what are some effects of living longer, aging population on individuals and society? Well, individuals, for all members, for the elderly and the younger people, there is just more time together. Whereas before, you might not have known your great grandparents, but today there might be more of a chance to know these elderly members of the family. But on the flip side, there's more time to live with perhaps not very nice conditions, for example, arthritis, dementia, these problems that affect elderly people. They are prevalent, and they can live with chronic pain a lot of the time. As a society, well, there is more people relying on healthcare. So perhaps more taxes need to be. People are taxed more to provide the financial support for this, and people the pension rate, the pension age in a lot of countries is getting higher, so people are working for longer. Maybe that's an individual effect, actually. We could argue it from both sides, as a whole, as a society, or as an individual. Okay, so in our conclusion, we're just going to restate a reason and a couple of effects. So there are many reasons for this and various effects. And of course, we'll elaborate in the essay. Okay, there we go. So those are our two sides, and we're making sure to include about individuals and society. If you don't, you're not answering the question properly, and this will affect your score. So really important to pay attention to any small words like this, and make sure that we're addressing all parts of the question. Okay, well, let's go to the question now, and we, as always, want to start by paraphrasing this sentence. In some countries, people are living longer than ever before. In various nations, the community is, if we could say, the average lifespan of the average lifespan is increasing and higher than in previous generations. In various nations, the average lifespan is increasing and is higher than in previous generations. Okay, what are the reasons for this trend? So now we're going to go into what the essay is going to do. This essay will explore the actions that lead to this situation and also the impacts both on a small and large scale of such a trend. This essay will explore the actions that lead to this situation and also the impacts both on a small and large scale of such a trend. So personal, individual impact and societal. Okay, I think that's good. We can keep it short and sweet there. Okay, let's go into the reasons first. So there are a plethora of reasons as to why the general as to why the general population are living longer. The main one being that in many countries, the healthcare system has vastly improved. Okay. So a combination of more investment, both in the institutions and research, have led to previous grave illnesses such as maybe diseases such as polio, for example, becoming almost being eradicated worldwide. Okay, I think that's quite a long sentence, but we'll come back and think about it a bit more. Right, so we've got our healthcare system and what that has done, the research that's been improving over the years. Let's talk about the job side of things as well. So additionally, overall, individuals are working less physically demanding and demanding jobs. 100 years ago, a child would be expected to work a 12-hour shift, perhaps down a mine. Nowadays, it is only adults who work, and mostly in office jobs. which do not have the same risk factor, maybe. Okay, brilliant. I think, you know what? I think that's okay. We were going to talk about diet, but this is worked out quite a large paragraph. Let's read it back and see how it's sounding. There are a plethora of reasons as to why the general population are living longer. The main one being that in many countries, the healthcare system has vastly improved. A combination of more investment, both in the institutions and research, have led to previous grave diseases, such as polio, for example, almost being eradicated worldwide. Maybe we can put through vaccinations. Through vaccination initiatives. Additionally, overall, individuals are working less physically demanding jobs. 100 years ago, a child would be expected to work a 12-hour shift down a mine. Nowadays, it is only adults who work, and mostly in office jobs, nice brackets, which do not have the same risk factor. Okay, I think that's good. Let's go on to the effects now for both the individual and society. There are many outcomes of such a scenario. There are many outcomes of such a scenario. On a micro level, so personal level, maybe we could say that on a personal level, this allows families to spend more time with elderly loved ones. Great grandparents may still be alive and well, able to enjoy their time in I think we can just leave it at that, actually. We can talk about the chronic the illnesses that they might have. However, many issues related with age, such as arthritis, are more prevalent as people are aging, are more prevalent the older people are. And so many individuals are living with chronic pain. Okay. Let's talk about on a societal level. So we can say that on a societal level, the on a societal level, being able to balance the elderly community and their problems, of course, puts a higher demand on the healthcare system. Furthermore, let's talk about pensions. More pensions are having to be, or more money is having to be set aside for the country's pensions. And uh, this can lead to higher taxes and an increase in pension age. In many places, um, the older members of the community are working well into their 60s and beyond. Currently, it is 67 in the UK for men. Okay, that was just a nice example there at the end. Let's read this back and see how this one is sounding. There are many outcomes of such a scenario. Outcomes, I'm not sure. There are many, maybe ripple effects of such a scenario. On a personal level, this allows families to spend more time with elderly loved ones. However, we can do that. However, many issues related with age, such as arthritis, are more prevalent the older people are. And so many individuals are living with chronic pain. On a societal level, being able to balance the elderly community and their problems and their health concerns and their concerns, of course, puts a higher demand on the healthcare system. Furthermore, more money is having to be set aside for the country's pensions. For pensions, maybe. This can lead to higher taxes and an increase in the pension age. In many places, the older members of the community are working well into their 60s and beyond. Currently, it is 67 in the UK for men before they can stop. Currently, men can stop work in the UK at 67, or men can retire from work in the UK at 67. Okay, let's put this all together in a nice conclusion. So, in summary, thanks to leaps in science, many countries are now able to combat or to overcome serious diseases which in the past were caused serious problems. Although the older someone is, the more daily difficulty they might experience, and it is up to the GPs and hospitals to balance, to cope with this reliance, and and it is up to the GPs and hospitals. Maybe we could say, and the GPs and hospitals are responsible for overseeing their health. In summary, thanks to leaps in science, many countries are now able to overcome serious diseases, which in the past caused detrimental maybe problems. Although the older someone is, the more daily difficulty they might experience, and the GPs and hospitals are maybe we could say this falls on the GPs and hospitals who are responsible for overseeing health. Okay, I think that's good. Just restating what we've been writing about there. Let's count the words of this one. Okay, so this comes to a total of 317 words, which I think is a good amount for an essay like this. And you can see how we've tackled the first question here and then the second question here, making sure we're talking about individuals and society as a whole as well. So there we go. I hope that's been helpful today. We've talked about 2 different types of questions and 2 different topics. So do let us know if you've got any questions or comments about today. We'd really like to hear from you, and we'll see you in the next video.